All right. Welcome to our director's commentary for our film Rebels with a Cause. I'm Eden Brown.
I'm Marcella Kalik.
And we're just going to be basically talking over our film and talking about our process, how we, started and found things in general. So we're just going to start that right here. Opening scene. That was something we really needed to get done early. This one took a lot of time to edit, mostly because the shots themselves were so long that...
We actually ended up overshooting for this one character's scene because we have 3 characters that we had to worry about fitting into a 2-minute time increment.
Our original treatment had 5 characters, but 2 of them ended up being adults, and that just wasn't feasible within our resources. Something I could find kind of funny, when I originally had the basic idea for this, it was a very serious film, but then as we went farther into the treatment and scripting stage, it got very funny. Like here, our character Azazel was supposed to have like blown out lighting, and it was all supposed to be very dramatic, but it ended up, with a little bit of that, but in the end it just didn't really work with the whole flow of our film.
We still have them as like a goth character, but editing them stylized wouldn't have made sense without the comparison towards the other characters who would have been edited very stylistically.
Yeah, I really like these church shots. I don't know, it's just something about them. I feel like it adds a lot to the set in general.
And a lot to like the contrast between the character and the setting that they live and grew up in.
Yeah, that's a little piece where we had to censor out words. That's fine though, it's fine.
Like in that bit, there was an curse word because in a lot of coming-of-age films, it is quite normal for the film to have an R rating due to like colorful language and other very explicit themes. But we blurted out due to having a school setting, but also wanted to stay sort of true to the genre conventions.
Yeah, and reshooting it was basically impossible by the time we got it. It was a very specific situation, a very specific location. This scene was very important. It's only very short. I wanted to keep it simple, but basically just gives you the reason why Finn, who's the first character, is being kicked out of their house. We just wanted to make that sort of clear, but I didn't want to overdo it. And that was a tough one to edit audio-wise because it was at the beach, and that's never fun.
We had to lower the levels and completely get new sound devices for it and mix it up a bit. Then we also, when it came to actually filming it, we had to make sure that the lighting was on point because, as you can tell, the character always has some sort of lighting on their face at all times, or else it would have messed with the flow of the scene because then you would fall into absolute darkness. And so having the flame versus the glow of their iPhone on their face at all times kind of signified the little contrast between themselves and their parent who they're getting the message from.
Yeah, the letter was an inspired choice, I must say. I didn't have much to do with that. That was sort of a on spur-of-the-moment directorial thing, but it really worked within the symbols of the scene. This scene is fun because it has our only dialogue. God damn it.
Which you can't even hear that well.
No, yeah, it's very
But it
quiet.
was kind of a little homage to the little humorous clips within various coming-of-age films.
Yeah, because our next character that's going to show up they don't really get an introduction, but they were supposed to be like the talker. They were going to be basically, we'll see them in the next scene. They were supposed to be the very mouthy character.
Rambling on a lot.
Rambling on. Vlogging, basically, a vlogger.
Okay, so the 7-Eleven scene was pretty difficult to shoot.
I love this scene, though.
But it was my favorite shot. It's not, there was intent there.
Yeah, we just wanted to shoot the entire thing, all our characters in one place finally, and we decided the best way to go with that would be a single shot.
Yeah.
Now that's kind of funny because because the audio wasn't ideal and we were calling out directions while we were walking, we got some direction from, audio from freesound.org, and what ended up happening is the audio was, first of all, it was, very good, but one of the door slams in the audio ended up coinciding with the door slams on the cooler, so I just thought that was really fun. Yeah.
We wanted this shot to express all the characters within the same environment without entirely interacting at first, to demonstrate and foreshadow that they were going to meet at some point and they would end up being important to each other in the long run.
And here's the third character. Again, doesn't really get much dialogue or any dialogue, but we wanted to display personality and just keep them included because
we could not entirely give them their own arc because of the limit of time that we had, though they do still play a major role. And we thought that it would be kind of interesting to put them in placement of the shot right after Azazel in the one before because of the various the very extreme contrast in their color coding.
Yeah. And so, I was really happy with that shot. That's my favorite shot of the whole film. And we're approaching the end here. This train sequence, that was part of a much larger sequence that we ended up trimming down. A lot of this had to be trimmed down a lot. And and then this final scene shot, again, I really like this. The framing of the pillars, the title, everything like that. That's one of my favorite parts. I designed the title a while ago for the poster, and I just really liked how that looked. This one was a pain to get, though, because there were some time constraints on my end, and everyone else was such a trooper in this. But that was a difficult shot to get. We wanted to get one where the train was either pulling in or pulling out, but again, that's a very difficult shot to actually pull off. And I think that's really all I have to say about the film. Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, I'm good. We did the best that we could, and we were very happy with what we ended up with. We did our best.
I think this might be one of my best films in my high school career, so I'm certainly happy with that. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you. Goodbye.